What's going on, people? What's going on? It's G, and we're back in the building for our match reaction. Liverpool now top of the Premier League until Arsenal obviously play on Thursday with a 2-0 victory away at Tough Moor, however you want to see it. Guys, please make sure you smash a like, please make sure you share, please make sure you do subscribe to the damn channel. Tough game. Diogo Jota coming on in the second half within minutes, getting the all-important goal to kind of seal off the win, as Burnley were, mounting a little bit of a fight back in the game, but ultimately Liverpool with a clean sheet, first win in 3 Premier League games. So brilliant all round. Some decent performances from a few players, which we'll obviously just quickly get into today. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's get into it.
Through the lot, now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep fitting in.
Yes, people, were back in the building. We're back in the building, like I said, for our match reaction. Hopefully this won't be too long. So yes, Liverpool 2-0 victors against Burnley at Tough Moor. Jurgen Klopp spoke previously about going to Turf Moor, how difficult it obviously is. He weren't lying. He was not lying at all. That was a more difficult game than people care to admit, or people thought it was going to be. I saw some of the predictions, before the game and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. Obviously, we wanted it to be 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and all that, kind of good stuff. But as the game went exactly kind of how I thought it would, if Liverpool were going to come out victors anyway, in terms of us not being clinical enough, as per usual. If I just go into like a brief, overall, look at the game. When you think about it, in the first half, we had 14 shots at goal. 8 of those were on target. So you think about that and you think, okay, well, Liverpool were on fire. We were dominating the ball. We always dominate the ball and dominate possession. Sometimes not really doing anything, just keeping the ball for keeping its sake. But Burnley were very, very compact in the game. If I'm being 100% honest, they were trying to keep compact. But there was the majority of that first half, they were just kind of hen back into their own box, and they were more or less hanging on. Now, obviously, Liverpool had the disallowed goals and stuff like that, which we'll speak about in a second. But yeah, first half, I felt like, okay, we're doing all of this stuff. And again, you have 14 shots in the first half and 8 of those are on target, and you only score 1 goal. It gets a little bit annoying, after a while. And Darwin Núñez, by the way, very good finish for that first goal. Very, very good finish. Cutting in off the left-hand side, curling it into the bottom corner. That was a very, 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 very good finish by him. And again, I think I mentioned it before the stream about, we just need our attackers to score. Whoever it is, we just need someone to score. Obviously, as I said, we'll go into the lineup in a second to give you my my match ratings and stuff. But I think everybody thought he was going to play off the left, but for me anyway, from what I saw, he was playing down the middle. Gakpo was on the left, and yeah, that worked out to be a lot better. Obviously, at times they swap kind of thing. Well, I say swap, but it's more, I think Núñez just goes out to the left, and the other, Gakpo seemed to like, okay, well, he's here now. Now I've got to move. It doesn't seem like it's communicated well. Something that I used to see quite a lot with Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz is they don't communicate what they're doing. It's just more, I want to go here, so I'm going to go here. Whether you're here, that's another thing coming. But either way, Darwin Núñez picked up that ball and put it into the net with a very, very good finish, man. So, big up to him. But that first half for me was just like, yeah, it was just dominant. It was just really, really dominant in both possession, 68% possession. Our XG was 1.32. Might be different on other apps. Burnley only had 2 shots, at goal. If I take a look here, big chances that we had none actually in that first half, which is quite amazing. But yeah, it just showed you we had a level of dominance, in my personal opinion. But we just couldn't really make that dominance count, if I'm being honest, where it really, really mattered. It just seemed like that was going to be our downfall. And the thing with Burnley is watching the game, and this is the entirety of the game, when I'm watching them, they just seem like a team who they can get all the way up to the other end of the pitch. But when they get up to the other end of the pitch, they just don't really have enough about them. They got very good play. I like Odebear, watch him a few times. He looks just like a typical tricky winger, someone that when he gets going, he gets really, really going. And I felt like I saw that tonight. He was first half, Trent had him, but then second half, I felt like he had Trent. So they both had a half each, if I'm being totally honest. He was just starting to dazzle after a while. It was becoming quite embarrassing, actually. Getting himself in behind, dribbling past Trent a couple of times, cutting infield, getting past a couple of players there. He was doing pretty well in that second half. But they have a lot of these nicey players, but no killers up top, unfortunately. And to be honest, I'm not saying even you need a killer. Like, you just need someone who is comfortable putting the ball in the back of the net. I just feel like they almost just have a bunch of sick wingers attacking midfield players, but no real number 9 to go up top and is a real striker. It seems very weird there at Burnley. And, they play good football. When they get going, they were playing some really, really good football, especially in that second half. But it didn't really amount to anything. Liverpool, as I said, in parts in that second half, were playing okay football. First half, it was just more about dominance, about having that possession, overrunning them and stuff like that. Running in behind and, trying to get the shots off. We were finding a lot of space, down their channels at times. It's just, as I said, it's just about we just couldn't really get, that finish. Second half, as I said, Burnley really did come into their own. I know we had the disallowed goal. Everyone keeps talking about it. Do I think it should have been disallowed? People say, yeah, Salah was pushed into. I don't think it was pushed. For me, yeah, it's offside. That one I'm not really trying to debate. I think there was another contentious decision that someone else was people were talking about. But for me, yeah, that goal in the one that Harvey Elliott did actually score. I felt like it was rightly ruled out. So got really no complaints there from my end of things. But yeah, in terms of the second half, it was night and day, absolute night and day. Really poor performance in that second half. Even outside of that Harvey Elliott goal, maybe that goal would have changed things. Who knows? We're moving into the realm of hypotheticals. Even before we had scored that goal, we wasn't really playing that well anyway. Burnley was still, coming into their own, and I think it kind of showed anyway in that second half performance. Burnley having 7 shots at goal. We only having 5 shots at goal. I think it took us until like the 81st minute, taking out that offside goal, that 81st minute, that we then had a shot. And I think it was a Szoboszlai, just stupid shot from outside the box that he was never going to score. And it was like, okay, yeah, it was very, very weird, man, very, very weird. But ultimately, like I said, we got the win. Lucky to probably keep a clean sheet, but we got the win in the end. And that was deserved. It was deserved. I think Liverpool did deserve, to win this game. Now, let's take a look here. What did I want to show you first? Should we go into that? If you look at the average positions of both teams, it kind of just reiterates what I was saying before about, how Burnley were kind of set up in the game. Obviously they got the 2, number 22 and number 3, obviously out wide, but the game was very, very narrow. They didn't want Liverpool to be able to, come inside, if I'm being totally honest with you, which then meant Trent Alexander-Arnold and Gomez had to really, go out wide, because obviously Harvey Elliott, obviously playing in that right central midfield position. Mo Salah, again, not really sticking out wide. He's kind of coming in playing in that, would I say, number 9 role next to our actual number 9 in Darwin Núñez. And then obviously Gakpo again kind of coming infield. We needed the kind of width from somewhere because we weren't really getting it from the actual wingers themselves. Every now and again, yes, Darwin or Gakpo would pull themselves out wide and stuff like that, but not on a consistent enough basis. And I felt like that's why the game was becoming a little bit congested. That's why it was just a little bit like, ooh, okay, we can't get the ball here, or we can't do that, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I feel like that also played a part into why we were a little bit poor with the build up, keeping possession, trying to find trying to find passes and passages of play. It was all breaking down every now and again. It's because they were just swarming us, you know, in that second half, because they had the numbers in there, you know, and we were just more playing into their hands, you know, at times. So again, like I said, Trent had to then provide that width a lot more so than he probably would have liked. You know, he wasn't, in my opinion, his influential best like he has been recently, but, you know, he had to be decent enough. He had a shot in that second half with his left foot, almost went in as well. That was when one of the very few times he was able to like come infield and affect play, you know, and we were able to, you know, get him behind Burnley's midfield and then obviously onto their defense. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, like I said, it was a decent performance from Liverpool. All in all, that first half was really, really good. We deserved the win, so you know there's not really too much complaints. So let's go to match ratings. Boom. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Hopefully you guys can see that there. Can you see it? Yeah, that's the one. All right, cool. So we start off with Ali. Ali made like a couple, like literally a couple, not even saves actually, because he didn't have to make a save. I was trying to think, he made like a couple good like passes and stuff. Like I said, it's always tricky with Ali. I'll give him 6.5. He really had nothing to do in that sense. Again, not through his own fault or that he played poorly, just he didn't really have nothing to actually do. They didn't, you know, provide any real no shots on target in the entire game. You know, 8 shots off target that they had. Yeah, I think yeah, we were good in that kind of sense. Joe Gomez. I'll probably give Joe. I'm leaning between 7. I think a 7. I felt like he was decent in this game as well. Obviously trying to get himself up and down that left-hand side, which is obviously good, something that we need, again, like I said, to provide that width that we were kind of lacking at times, due to the wingers obviously being in their own kind of positions. But yeah, defensively, I thought he was okay in the game. I wasn't too worried. Can't really remember too many times that they were beating him down that side. I mean, in that second half, it was a case of, you know, the whole team, should I say, they were kind of being, would I say, a little bit all over the gaff, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, he didn't complete any of his crosses into the box, to be fair. He won all of his tackles. He won half of his ground duels. He won 4 out of 6 aerial duels. I think a 7 is absolutely fine for him. Virgil van Dijk, thought he had a very, very good game. I will give it 8 actually to Virgil. Captain, yeah, just kind of a typical performance from Virgil, if I'm being honest. Done everything I felt he needed to do. Didn't feel like he did anything wrong, so to speak. 6 out of 8 long balls. He only had 1 ground duel. He won all of his aerial duels today as well. Yeah, it was typical Virgil, to be honest. Kwanzaa, I thought was really good. Before the game, I spoke about when I was doing my predicted lineup, and I was speaking about whether or not we would have whether or not we would start Konate or we would start, you know, someone like a Jarell Kwanzaa, and not being able to trust Konate. And it's funny because then we ended up starting Kwanzaa. So yeah, that in itself kind of speaks volumes. But yeah, Kwanzaa I thought was good today. I felt like Virgil's like a high 8, whereas Kwanzaa was like a low 8, if that makes sense. In fact, no, you know what, actually, I'll give him a 7.5 on that measure. But yeah, I thought he was calm. Made some last-ditch tackles. There was a moment where he's can't remember the striker's name, if I can find his name actually, because he was like through on goal. Amdouni, yeah. Amdouni was through on goal, and Virgil, and Kwanzaa was the last man there, and he had to get that tackle. And if he didn't, that Amdouni would have been, you know, in on goal. So yeah, that was good from him. Trent. Yeah, thought Trent was calm in today's game, this evening's game, should I say? yeah, just a kind of like a casual performance from him, typical passing and stuff like that. Defensively, I thought overall in the game he was all right. As I mentioned, he did get beaten a couple of times by Odobert, but as an overall, I felt like he was pretty decent in the game. He did pick up obviously a yellow card, 4 out of 8 crosses. I mean, his long ball accuracy today was actually really shit, 7 out of 16. By his standards, is actually obviously really shit. Ground duels, he only won 4 out of 10. He won the aerial duel that he did win, but I thought like overall that a calm performance. Endo, I thought was a steady Eddie today. I think I said this in the Liverpool group chat. I like steady Eddies. Do you know what I mean? Don't have to be too flashy, because when obviously I would love for you to be a 10 out of 10 every single week, but when you put in really good performances like 8s and 9s for some people, and you do that like maybe like once or twice in a row, then you don't do it the next time. It's like everyone starts moving all mad and blah blah blah. Like, especially because usually the drop off is usually quite bigger than that. It's usually you went from 8, 9 to like all of a sudden a 5 or a 6, and then people start asking questions and like we do with Gravenberch and like Curtis Jones and the Gakpos and stuff like that of this world. It always seems to happen. Whereas I feel like since Endo's come in, he's just been steady. He's just been super. He's had some games which are probably better, obviously, than others, but he's just been steady, and I love a steady Eddie. If you can keep up, if you can maintain consistent performance levels, then there's going to be a place for you in the team, no matter what any of us actually think. But yeah, like I said, I felt like he was calm in the game. Gravenberch, 6, absolutely meaty. Really, really meaty performance. Again, barely really noticed him getting tired again. This getting tired stuff, and you not being able to really see out games due to that. I'm like, I'm not really feeling that, man. And the impact that I felt he had in the game, it was so minimal, like really, 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 really minimal. So yeah, not really happy with his performance, so to speak. And yeah, so after coming off the back of that game against Arsenal, yeah, you got a lot to make up, but yeah, Harvey Elliott, again 7, finding good little half spaces, good little pockets of spaces near the box. Obviously that goal got ruled out, but that was a good finish by Harvey Elliott. And he was trying to make things tick, especially in that first half. He was really, really trying to make things tick. So yeah, I think a 7 for Harvey Elliott. That is a calm score. Let's see if you guys can see this. Yeah, should go to Gakpo. Obviously there was a lot of talk before the game. Gakpo going to play down the middle, Nunes out left, and again, like I said, in the game they were kind of like rotating between each other, but mostly Gakpo was down that left hand side. I felt Gakpo had a decent game as well. 67, yeah, I felt Gakpo had a decent game. Obviously got himself the assist as well. Had a goal ruled out. So should have been ruled out. That one, that's the one I was trying to remember. His goal that was ruled out, I felt like that shouldn't have been ruled out, but I did feel like the Harvey Elliott one should have been ruled out. So I will give that one. I was like, I don't know, man, because I don't even feel like he even really touched him. If I'm being honest. When I can't remember, I think it was Darwin Nunes, trying to obviously get the ball and kick it into someone's path, whoever was there, and then they called a foul for it. I said, nah, I don't think that was soft, but soft can still be a foul. So it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Nunes, 7. I felt like fantastic finish, but outside of the goal, didn't really feel like he offered us much, if I'm being totally honest with you. But it was a really, really good finish from Darwin Nunes. But yeah, again, I'm not going to complain at the fact that he scored, at the end of the day. But yeah, it almost reminded me of one of those typical Salah performances. You get the GA, the performance ain't really there, to be honest with you. And yeah, that's how I felt, about his performance today. It wasn't really there, to be honest, but he got the goal. And hey, look, if he can keep doing that, hey, no, I promise you, no one's really gonna bat an eyelid, about that. I felt like, yeah, because the fact that Salah didn't score, I felt like they both played at the kind of the exact same level, if I'm being honest, in terms of performance weren't really there, to be honest. Like they're obviously, when I say it's not really there, and I'm giving them a 7, I'm saying in terms of it was okay. Like, you know what I mean? It was like obviously above average, but nothing really to write home about, you know, in that kind of sense. Just an average for this game in terms of 7 being, they were decent. Do you know what I mean? They were generally decent, but yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. But I'm not going to do the subs, but the subs in terms of who was it? In terms of Diogo Jota obviously coming on. I feel like when Klopp makes these subs, especially when he brings on so many at the same time, it does disrupt us quite a lot. Now, this might be something that is spoken about before. Maybe this is something that, you know, he's they've spoken about, you know, before the game and said, all right, you're going to come on at blah, blah, blah minutes and, you know, ret-a-tear. Fair enough. If so, then cool. I guess they know and we just don't know. So that's fair enough. But it really does disrupt us. And it's within those moments that we do look like we're going to concede, especially because the subs, it's like, whatever they've been asked to do, they just never seem to be able to really execute that. You know, I mean, the only person who was able to really execute that was Diogo Jota, and his job was probably just be a nuisance. You know, him coming on after being injured for a little while and getting that goal as well would have been so important for him. But get the goal even that he scored, you know, was just like, that's the kind of striker that we've kind of been missing. You know, someone who is just clinical when they're in and around the box. No faffing about. Luis Diaz had a chance before that, should have been scoring that. You know, that again, you know, him coming on as well. You know, again, all of these guys are just very, very needy in terms of their performance levels. But when he came on, I think big up Roms because he said it. You know, Jota is gonna seal the game for us, and that's exactly what he did. And you know, as I said, I think we've been missing that. The only problem I've always ever had with Diogo Jota is you cannot stay fit, and if you can't stay fit, you can be a bagsman because you'll just be like Thiago almost, where we know you're sick, but you're never really here. So if you're never really here, it's like, you know, it's always going to be a catch-22, and that's always going to be the annoying thing about Diogo Jota is, you're always thinking, yeah, he'll get injured like very, very soon, whether it's in 5 to 10 games, but you just know he'll get injured. When he gets injured, he's going to be out for like at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games kind of thing. And you're just like, it's so annoying because he is probably our most natural. In fact, no, he is in my opinion, I said it in the group, he's the only striker that we have in the team. The rest have got to earn that title, because they haven't shown me that they can be strikers. He's shown me that I can be a striker. From the moment he came to Liverpool, he has always shown that, you know, he can actually be, you know, that type of finisher, always so clinical in and around the goal. It's crazy. And I think he's got his 50th goal for Liverpool in the process this evening as well. So, yeah, all those late night FIFA sessions are clearly working. They're clearly working. But yeah, like I said, decent performance from Liverpool, comfortable enough to be able to get us the 2-0 victory away at Turf Moor. Now, I think we don't play again now until Newcastle on the 1st of January. So, yeah, we got I say a break, but a few days off. Hopefully we can see Arsenal lose their game so Liverpool can stay top going into the new year. But guys, let me know obviously what you think in the comment section about today's game. Who was your man of the match? I didn't even pick my man of the match. My man of the match will be I'll give it to Verge, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll give it to Verge. I felt like Verge was really, really good in the game. So yeah, I'll give it to Verge. I'll give it to Virgil van Dijk. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who was your man of the match? That is the match reaction done and dusted. Liverpool 2-0 winners, back to the top of the league. Let's go.